Good morning. It's Saturday morning. Today is January 29th, 2011. Want to do a few updates, and I've tried to organize things here a little bit. One thing I want to comment about. I fainted back about 4 months ago, and they had to put a pacemaker in me. And I was limping because I hurt my foot, and I was limping for about 3.5 or 4 months till and I still get a little twinge in it, but my foot is finally back to normal, so I can get out and walk around a little bit. I'm tired all the time, but I've been tired for a long time, and I think it's medication that I take for either my prostate or high blood pressure, and I think actually it's both, so I'm getting a double whammy. But now that I have an Android phone and it's got tracking and all that kind of stuff, I think it's going to make me get out and, well, not make me, it's not like a gun's going to pop out, but I think I'm going to be getting out and walking around doing a little bit. But I wanted to cover a number of subjects. One, as you know, I'm a YouTube partner. Wanted to mention that up here in this masthead, I haven't done it yet. Now, if you click on it, of course, you go, I'm not sure where you were, I've got it set, you go. Whether you go to Show Me Blog or Howard's Notebook or whatever, but if you're a partner, this area up here is your masthead that you can design how you want it, and you can bit image map it. Maybe that's not what it's called, but you can have things up here, links to different things. I need to do that, but so you could click up here and on a Facebook or a button or on a YouTube button or something else, and it would take you there. Now I have no control over the advertisement over here at the upper right, but as a partner, the other area that you have is this area down here on the left bottom here, and you can make an advertisement or whatever you want, and the same thing, you can have that all one click, or you could have other icons in there or something to and I need to put something in there. I made a video yesterday about a portable antenna for over-the-air television, and this is that video. 12 people have watched it since yesterday. Nobody has put liked or disliked. I hate to deal with people, but when you watch my videos, if you like the video, please do that, thumbs up, or is it like this? It's like this, thumbs up button. I think that gets me some kind of credit with YouTube or something, perks, or if enough people did it. But anyway, on this video that I made, if very few of you are going to watch the video because you probably all got cable television or something, but I take the device out of the box, and I think the bottom just comes loose, that it snaps in or whatever. So I keep trying to snap the bottom back in. And I found out that after I completed this video review of the thing, that it was actually broke, and that's a problem that they have with those units. I checked on Amazon.com on the reviews, and a whole bunch of people say that when it comes, the bottom is just broke. Now, the unit worked fine for picking up over-the-air television stations, and so, I mean, have some super, if you decide you want it, have some super glue. It's extremely small. It's only about 6.5 inches, and so it would be perfect for a laptop. You hook this, if you have a USB television device for your laptop or something, and you need an antenna, you get that, and you could carry it with you in the bag. And I was using it here and it was doing just great. In fact, when I made the review yesterday of it, after the review was over, I found, whoop, I didn't. It has an amplifier in it, and I hadn't kicked in the amplifier. So nice unit, but man, that's really going to hurt them on that. You get the unit and no damage has been. It wasn't in shipping or anything. It just the bottom just comes off because the 4 screws are so poorly designed. This is I've got 3 blogs. Well, I don't know. It could be more than 3 blogs, but I've got 3 blogs. Got Show Me Blog at showmeblog.com. I've got Howard's Notebook. And Howard's Notebook started as a computer bulletin board system in 1982 and has been going ever since. And then I've got this one, which nobody's going to, Show Me Fort Worth, which I want to put things about Fort Worth, and this where too I'm going to try to put most of the stuff about my, Android phone and what I discover with it. But I got my first computer, Radio Shack Model 1 in 1978. Had 4K of memory. 4K of memory. When I got it up to 48K of memory, when it would come on and it would say 48K of memory, I was so happy. 48K of memory. Not meg, 48K. But actually, I might have had something that was a computer before that, and that was a Texas Instrument TI-58 calculator, which was programmable. And I don't know if it has the price on here or not. Oh man, what I paid for that. What I paid for that, I could probably, that was like 1977. And what I paid, there was a printer you could get that it snapped down into the printer, and it printed on thermal paper like this wide. And what I paid for that printer, I could now get a fantastic desktop computer or laptop computer. But that got my interested in. I wasn't very smart. I'm still not very smart. But I did a few things on the programmable calculator. Wrote a little program to do something. To guess the number or something. I thought I was a genius. But that got me interested. And then of course, when the Radio Shack computer came out, it says here that it came out in August 3rd of 1977, so that's about the time I got it. I think I got it in 1978 though. But I don't know, I got it almost as soon as it came out. But as soon as I got it, I got it in 78. At some point, I read every magazine that there was, everything that I could find about the TRS-80 computer, and magazines would come out and there'd be 6 pages of basic coding, lines, and I would type those in to play a game. Oh man, we were stupid back then. But when a modem, that magazine mentioned a modem, I didn't know what a modem was, but I know it attached to a TRS-80 computer, so I wanted it. I ordered it, got it, and hooked it up, and it seemed that you hooked a phone line into it, and you could dial into computer bulletin board systems. Got that, and I started that. Well, I'm not sure when I first got the modem, but in the very beginning there was an Apple BBS in Kansas City, Missouri. There was actually a guy who had a commodities bulletin board system for trading, and the other system was a guy in Kansas City, Missouri, just so happened, wrote a BBS program for the TRS-80 computer, and the headquarters was in Kansas City, Missouri, but he was selling these programs worldwide. Those were the only 3 computer bulletin board systems in Kansas City, Missouri, and so I set one up, and so I had the 4th one in Kansas City, Missouri. And that was in 1982, and my computer bulletin board system remained, people connected at 300 baud. and then eventually, you know, I could buy a 1200 baud modem, and then what I spent for those modems, I could nowadays I could buy a fantastic desktop computer. My first modem, well, it probably wasn't the first modem, but the one when it was a 300 baud modem, so it was one of the first, a Hayes modem. I'd like to have one of those now because I'd like it was aluminum or something. It'd make a great paperweight. It it just it was quality. You know, it was metal. It was, I mean, you know, it just felt great. And then later, you know, the 9600 baud modems and what have you, and it'd get it, and it was, you know, vastly improved. It would do all kinds of things, but it would be plastic. It just felt cheap. It worked great, but anyway, in 1982, from that point, I continued. My bulletin board system remained on the air 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, taking phone calls. I added extra lines. You could actually, in the beginning, you could dial into my computer bulletin board system, and when you found information on there, you could click on it, and it would dial out on another line to connect to another computer bulletin board system that had more information on that. But the reason that I set up the computer bulletin board system, and I called it Howard's Notebook, was I have a terrible memory. I've always had a bad memory. And so I set it up, and it was just set up, you know, so other people could call in and hopefully want to maybe add some information. But I set it up to put information that I wanted to be able to get to easily, you know, list of satellites that were in orbit and what frequencies they were transmitting on, list of amateur radio clubs, list of amateur radio repeaters and their frequencies, and just, you know, information so that I could recall it. And I kept it online till like 1995, and that's when the World Wide Web, you know, was invented. Now the internet was going before the World Wide Web. Then the World Wide Web was invented and put. So in 1995, I moved my data and everything to the World Wide Web, and it's still on, you know, still online. But the reason I did it was just so I could remember and have access to information. And of course now the internet has. So now this is not the, well, I love that TRS-80 computer. I had a guy, I wasn't using it because you know, after the TRS-80, well, not after, at the same time, then I owned a bunch of, well, I owned a Tandy 2000, I owned two of those. Radio Shack invented this computer, Tandy 2000, and at the same time IBM invented the PC or whatever, and the Tandy 2000 had a better display, the floppy drive, the disk drive held more data. Instead of 365K, it was 780K. Everything was better, but PC caught on, and of course, you know, but I had Commodore 64s, and I had a bunch of those. I'd have a Commodore 64 running, and the BBS ran on it for years. And then I'd have another one I'd be doing playing games on. And I have another Commodore 64. It was really neat to have. You know, they were cheap and they worked great. And this is the, you know, the keyboard for the Commodore 64. I also had a SX. I had a VIC-20. I actually ran a BBS on a VIC. Was it the VIC-20 or the VIC-6? No, VIC-20, I think it was. I actually ran the BBS for a day on that, but the only problem was it had, I don't know how much, almost no memory. So somebody would call in, and the BBS program would pick up an answer, and it would ask them for their name, and they would enter their name, and it'd go very slow. And then when it was getting ready to go do the next thing, it would just stop because it had to move stuff around in memory. It had to move stuff around in memory. The person would be sitting on there. Well, they figure, well, it's locked up, and then they disconnect. But I just ran it for like a day, just to see just so I could say in 2011, hey, I ran a BBS on a VIC 20. Was it VIC 20? But as soon as Palm, and I think they were the first one, came out with a Palm device. This isn't it, of course. This is not the first one. But when they came out with a Palm device, I got one immediately because that just fit in exactly. You know, you put data in there. You put in lists, things to do, and it used the Palm operating system, and I just loved it. I kept buying their units up until the, what was it, the E2 or the X2, or whichever the last one that they, I guess it's maybe not the last one, this might be the Palm Trio, or, and I was one of the early adopters of these PDAs. I'd have one in my pocket with information in it that I thought that I needed, instead of it bringing my brain. You know, it'd be like somebody asked me, "What's your name?" and I'd say, "Just a second, I have to get my PDA out." My name is Jim Howard. You know, I'd have that in my pocket loaded with information, and I'd be working at the hospital, or whatever, and police or paramedics or somebody would come in and they'd say, "Oh, what's the number for the hospital here?" And I'd, you know, there I worked there. You know, I don't know. Let me look it up. You know, and I'd pull out my my Palm device. Okay, the hospital phone number is such and such, and they'd go, "What in the world is that?" I'd say, "It's a PDA." Like, what? And they'd go, "Wow!" And they'd call their buddies over. Look at this. It's got information in it. All kinds of, all kinds of stuff. Sometimes they'd say, "Oh, let me show this to my buddy," and they'd walk over there, and somebody would walk up to me and say, "Sir, I want to report you. What's your name?" And I'd have to say, "Wait a minute, I don't know what my name is. He's got my PDA. Oh, wait a minute, I got a name tag on. That's my name." Of course, usually when they did that and they'd say, "I want to report you. What's your name?" I'd usually give them the name of the director of security. I'd say, "My name's Bob Ross. You know, go ahead and report." You know. But I loved PDAs. But of course now, um, this, and I've had cell phones from the very beginning, and now this is my first Android plug-in problem. I hope, are we still broadcasting here? Well, the clock is still ticking. Now with this Android phone, this seems like it was designed for me. I mean, all the things that it does, places, everything, that just for a person like myself and for somebody who wanted information and who wanted to be able to call up information and all that kind of, it just seems like this thing, God has finally sent it to me. I'm getting more errors of plugins, not good, failing. Hope this is still being recorded, but I think I better bring it to a conclusion. And I'm not sure I covered everything I wanted to cover, but I'm getting pop-ups saying plugin not working. Oh, it's from Chrome. The following plugin has crashed. Shockwave Flash. So anyway, thanks for watching this video, and I hope there was some, I'm not sure there was any useful information in it, but thanks for watching.